Go live. Checking connection. 3, 2, 1. Check it. It is September 29th, 9:40 in the morning, Friday. It's Rebel Live. I'm your host, Ryan Dobson. What's happening? I'm looking at camera, and camera. I got 3 going on today. The 3s. 3 cameras. I'm looking at Facebook, IG, Instagram, and the YouTubers right there. Wow. Wow, I got a room full of cameras. Producer Kay is going to take a picture after I read her phone. I got kids today. It's Laura's birthday. Happy birthday to Laura. You can say happy birthday, Laura. Woo! Oh, look at that. She's right there. Hello. Happy birthday. Special happy birthday to my wife edition. What do we do every day? Starting it off. YouVersionBible.com. Favorite app.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Apparently we're live online now too, as according to Producer Kay's computer. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Oof, I like that. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Ooh, I like that one. That one makes me happy. I need that one today, don't you? Who needs that? I need that. Okay, so happy birthday to my wife. Happy birthday to my wife. Happy birthday to my wife. And okay, I can't believe she's on here. This is gonna. I gotta go through with it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so oftentimes around birthday times with Laura or the kids, I feel when they're over like I maybe didn't do the job that was expected of me. And I never quite know why, and I figured it out this year. I've only been married for 12 years, right? Like, it only took 12 birthdays for me to come up with what actually is going on. And what actually is going on, my birthday is in July, Laura's is in September, Lincoln is October, Lucy is January. I was gone for my birthday most of my childhood. Most of my childhood, I was at camp for my birthday, and I would forget that it was my birthday, and then my parents would send me something, and I'd be like, oh yeah, it's my birthday, because I'm ADD and a squirrel, you know, that's one of those things. And then there's lots of families where, like, it's not just your birthday, but it's your birthday week, and they celebrate the whole week, and you don't do anything. Like, and this is where it started cluing into me just the other day. It was the Mayweather fight, the Mayweather-Conor McGregor fight, and I wanted my friend Zach to come, because Zach's one of my best friends in the whole world, and I love him. And I thought he and Sarah would come, and we love them, and we hang out with them all the time. And he was like, oh no, it's Sarah's birthday, we can't come. And I was like, I know, but it's like, it's Saturday. You could do birthday on Friday or Sunday or any other day. This is never going to happen again. Like, this is it. This is the biggest fight in history. And there's going to be 70 people at the house. Like, for real? I was like, all right, like, Sarah's not that into fighting. Okay, whatever. And then we went to our small group on Sunday night, and our friends didn't come because it was the wife's birthday. And I was like, I remember thinking, so what? Like, you're not going to come to meal group because it's your birthday? Like, this is fun. And it was just that little, like, light bulb that went off. And I was like, oh, other people celebrate birthdays completely different than me. And my philosophy on birthdays up until now was, like, birthday parties and, like, celebrating birthdays are for children. Like, that's for kids. Because you survived another year, whatever. But when you're an adult, like, let's celebrate something that you've done, like an achievement day, you know, like when we launched Rebel, or when you got your doctorate, or when you graduate, I don't know, something like that. But birthdays are like, whatever. And I was spouting off my beliefs to Producer Kay, and I saw the look in her eyes, and I was like, oh, so totally no? And she was like, no. So in her household, Kay, in your household?
We have a special plate.
That's
it's
right.
Your day off.
Laura got the special plate. Here's the thing. This morning I did a good job. Like, I got up and the kids made cards, and I made chocolate Dutch babies, and we gave Laura breakfast in bed, sorry, I'm getting text. I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb. So I did a good job today, and I had this crazy, crazy, crazy special thing planned, and it is absolutely not working out. So, oh, she's on here. Oops.
Don't say it.
So I can't do that, but I did promise I would make it good today. And my parents are taking us all to lunch. We're going out to lunch after this, and the kids and I are, yeah, whatever. Laura's on. She can't hear the rest of the birthday surprise. But I feel like now I'm seeing it from a different perspective, and that's such a thing with Rebel Parenting, is the perspective of, instead of being right about things, it's just changed the perspective and see it from a different point of view. And for me, man, birthdays, it doesn't even cross my mind really. Like when mine's coming up, you're like, what do you want? I don't know. I have stuff. Like nothing. Just like get a few friends together. That would be totally cool. You know, something like that. But for the rest of the family though, I will definitely change the perspective on that. For me, goodness, I couldn't even care less. Like whatever. But the rest of the family, for sure. And so there's so much in the news about the NFL and about the protests. So the Steelers, I think it's the Steelers or the Browns. Can you have me my drink, Kay?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks so much. The Steelers or the Browns now are holding all the players in the locker room until the national anthem is over. And it's like, as a team, we're going to be a team. We're not going to have some standing, some sitting, or some kneeling, some standing, you know, kind of thing, blah, blah, blah. So I read, who's that article by, Kay? The one that in the HuffPo. I've got this one. Oh, it's Eric Reid. So Eric Reid is Colin Kaepernick's teammate, or was, I think. And here's the thing, you know me, I don't watch traditional sports, so I think Kaepernick is he unsigned this year, or is he playing? I don't even know.
I don't know.
But he was left in kind of a thing, and it's been a big controversy, obviously, and the president's talking about it, and NASCAR said if anybody protested, they'd get fired and get a Greyhound bus ride home, and so I'm going to have producer Kay put a link up to this Eric Reid op-ed in the New York Times, because here's what I'm going to say. I agree and I disagree. It is a very thoughtful, articulate, well-crafted piece by Eric Reid. And it really does... it explains his belief system and why he believes what he's doing is the right form of protest and why it's the right American form of protest to do this during the national anthem. I appreciate his belief system in it, totally. I really do. I thought it was a very written piece. I'm not sure I agree. I'm not sure I agree that protesting during the national anthem is the right thing, although he makes a good point. And so I'm just going to say he makes a good point, but it does make me uncomfortable because my dad served in the military and my grandpa was in World War II, and people die for that flag, and I don't know. I don't know if that is... I don't know. And this is the other thing. There's a HuffPo article that's comparing Kaepernick and Tim Tebow, and it's like, look at all these Christians, all these white Christians love Tim Tebow for his, open sign of faith. Oh my goodness, I forgot how they worded it, but it was just like, really? And all these white Christians don't like Kaepernick. And it's like, whoa. And this is the thing, too. This is something that I think a lot of us forget when we're believers. I was listening to Adam Carolla the other day, and they were talking about Creed, and they were asking if Creed was a Christian band. And I was like, whoa, no, they're not. And one of the people said, you mean like Jars of Clay Christian? And they were like, yeah, I think they're kind of like that, right? And they were like, no, we think Jars of Clay are like more Christian-y Christian, and these guys are kind of like light Christian. And it's like, wow, I forget that people that don't know Christian culture have no clue, none whatsoever, of what our belief system holds, things like that. Creed, arena rock band. That's it. An arena rock band. Jars of Clay, a worship Christian, like, contemporary CCM band. Like, for sure. They're not in the same genre. Wow, it was just a crazy thing to hear that. And so when HuffPo talks about comparing Tebow to Kaepernick, it's a completely different thing. Tebow is doing something that virtually, if not literally, everyone that calls himself a Christian does, and that's honor God in our accomplishments. Most of us ought to honor God in our failures too, but quote-unquote giving God the glory is something every Christian does. Protesting our flag isn't, and most people, I think, don't know Colin Kaepernick is a man of deep faith, and that Eric Reid is a man of deep faith, and they believe that their belief in Jesus Christ and their faith is compelling them to make this type of protest. And that I understand, and that I agree. Like, I can't tell you what the Lord's telling you. I can't tell you what He's asking you to do. And, I mean, both of them, mostly Kaepernick, have really suffered for this. And people are like, oh, boo, boo, pro sports player, makes millions of dollars. Listen, it's not the same for him as it is for everybody else now because of the protest. But here's the biggest problem I have with it. As much as I agree with people's right to protest, and I believe their right for free speech, it's like what people were like, oh, you know, when they were talking about the white supremacists, you know, like, you kick them out of America. It's like, whoa, we live in a free country. Like, I don't agree with your belief system, and you shouldn't be able to break the law because of your belief system, but you can believe whatever you want and be an American because we live in a free country. It's a democratic republic. That's what you get to do. My biggest problem is the protest you're making isn't a just protest. You're just buying into the media lie that black people are more at risk by being shot by cops than they have been in the past, or than are white people. And that's just not true. It is absolutely, factually not true. It's not. I mean, if you look in Chicago, oh, goodness gracious, I'll just pull it out. I'm wearing my glasses. I don't know if I can see this well, though. Oh, where is it? I gotta do it. Oh, I'm missing it. Here we go. 2016, in the first 6 months, in Chicago, 2,300 people were shot. Okay, in Chicago, in the first 6 months of 2016, so January through June, 2,300 people were shot. Some weekends, that was 1 per hour. And the vast majority of the victims were black. During the same period, during that 6 months, Chicago police shot 12 people. All of them were armed. All of them were dangerous. They were doing that within the line of duty. So that's 0.5% of all the shootings in the first 6 months. And so it's hard because it is true that if you are black in America, you don't have the same shot at success as I believe white people do. And that's going to get me tons of flack, okay? That's going to get me tons of flack. I don't believe there is equal opportunity amongst races in America currently. And I don't believe police are out executing black people like is being reported in the media. I don't believe it. And there's a case going on in Arizona right now. A guy was in his apartment, and it was a mistake. The police were in the wrong place. They thought they were at the right place at the right time. They were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Ordered the guy on the ground. He's a white guy. Hands over his head. 3 cops all shouting different things. Get on the ground. Put your hands up. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your head. Get on your knees. All these things. This guy's laying on the ground screaming. The audio is... You shouldn't ever hear something like that. He's screaming, and this cop shoots him straight in the back. Just unloads on him, and he's using an AR-15, which I've owned for many, many years. It's not a big deal. Never shot a person with it. Never shot anything alive with it. I've shot tons of targets because it's fun. But his said, "You're effed" on the barrel. He's a white guy. You don't hear about that in the news. And here's why. It doesn't fit the media narrative right now. And I know people are like, oh, conspiracy, conspiracy. It's not. It's just, it is what it is. And furthermore, you know, there's all this stuff about Russia and collusion, Russia and collusion, Russia and collusion. Here's what happened. 10 years ago, people in Russia were meeting, and they said, you know what's going to be great for our country and for communism is to get the United States, the people of the U.S., to doubt their voting system and to overturn their election process. And they've been working on that for 10 years. And it just so happens that Hillary and Trump are the last two in there. I mean, it worked. Hey, it was fantastic for them, but they undermined our voting system. They undermined our election process. And we've now got the media that's actively playing into that. And so this is the thing with Colin Kaepernick and Eric Reid. What you're doing is the same thing as the school in Oregon changing the name from Lynch Elementary School to something else because of the connotations that the word Lynch has. You're telling a whole generation of children at that school something happened that didn't happen. The Lynch family donated money to have a school in perpetuity, and their name was attached to it. That's all. Nobody was lynched in Oregon, let alone black people. It didn't happen. And so when people complain, they go, oh, but we don't like that word. You go, oh, listen, here's the great news. You never have to feel that way again for the rest of your life when you drive by that school because it never happened and it doesn't mean that. Therefore, this feeling you felt, you're free. You're free. You never have to feel that way again around Lynch Elementary because nobody ever died here by a lynching. That's what you should do. Instead, they change the name of the school and you taint a child's mind and the community and you go, oh my goodness, isn't racism terrible? It's so bad we had to change the name of the elementary school. But it's not. That's the problem. It's not. It's not that bad. And Eric Reid and Colin Kaepernick are wrong. The cops aren't out there executing black people. It's just not happening. And by the way, you can tell this by who you choose as your heroes. And we do the same thing. People do the same thing. Who's the guy in New York that got killed for selling loose cigarettes? That's the one. So Michael Brown was the 18-year-old that wrestled with a police officer, grabbed the cop's gun, fired the cop's gun in the cop car with the cop with the gun, and then the cop shot and killed him. That's tragic. It's terrible. An 18-year-old child. Yes, he was a huge child. Yes, he was an intimidating-looking, imposing child. But he's a child. He's 18. Yeah, I know. In America, we're adults at 18. I cannot imagine that his childhood prepared him for adulthood at 18. And yet, you shouldn't have people getting on TV saying, I am Michael Brown. We are Michael Brown. No, you're not. You're not Michael Brown. You're not wrestling with police officers after strong-arm robbing a liquor store. That's what happened. He robbed the liquor store, and then a cop came and said, hey, stop. And he rushed the cop, wrestled with him, fired his gun, and he got shot and killed. That cop has to live with that for the rest of his life. He also has to be called a racist for protecting himself. I mean, he was being threatened in the line of duty. What would you do if a giant man was beating the snot out of you, grabbing your gun after strong-arm robbing another person? You're in fear for your life. By the way, don't choose that gentleman, that individual, as your hero, please. Who's the guy in New York?
Eric Garner.
Garner or Carter?
Garner.
Garner. Eric Garner. That's the guy you should be putting on your posters. That's the guy you ought to be putting on sweatshirts and on signs. This father of 5 that's selling loose cigarettes. By the way, it's an IRS thing. It's not a cop thing. No one's dying because, I mean, listen, you want to go, straight lib esoteric. I guess people were dying from firsthand smoke, but that's not what we're doing here, people. That's the guy you want to put on there. By the way, I'll even go Trayvon Martin, right? I mean, who was the guy that shot him? Zimmerman? That was a nut job. How'd that guy get off? This guy calls the police, says, I'm following a young black kid, and the police go, hey, don't do anything, don't get out of your car, and what does he do? Gets out of his car and ends up shooting a kid, a little kid. Ugh, that's terrible. And those are the things you should protest, but not the police. And here's the thing, too. This is the thing. You really want to see how bad it can get in America. You really want to see how bad it can get. First, you undermine the electoral process, so that, and this is the thing, in order for a republic to survive, in order for a democratic republic to survive, both parties have to feel like there was a fair election, even the loser. The loser has to feel like the election was fair in order for a democratic republic to survive. If both parties feel like there's cheating going on and that the loser felt cheated out of the election, that undermines the electoral process. You think people don't vote now? Just wait till the next election. Just wait and see what happens. Now, you want to see how really, really bad it can get? Now, Make the citizens and the police adversaries. And by the way, police forces, you're shooting yourselves in the foot too by all these stupid parking tickets and fix-it tickets and 5 mile an hour over the speed limit tickets, like all that stuff, like you're raising money for your precinct. You got to get out of that business. Get in the business of protecting and serving. It says it all over your cop cars, okay? Like, I'm not letting anybody off the hook. Protect, serve. Protect, serve. Protecting is not writing a parking ticket. Nobody's in danger because someone's parked in a place too long. It's not protecting. It's not serving anybody. So get off of that stuff and start arresting criminals. You don't choke a man's life out of him because he sold loose cigarettes. Okay? It's enough already. And we know this, right? We know this. We understand this. Man, you got to give me something happy to end this with. What do we got? Something.
Birthdays.
Whose birthdays? You just had yours.
I just had mine.
I know, it's terrible. Laura and I were talking last night because I didn't know it was Producer K's birthday and I didn't have anything. And so we're going to be doing something for that. She's here listening to this because I was like, you got to be kidding me. She was like, oh, Josh, take me out for my birthday. And I was like, that's something a boss ought to know. For sure, I should know that. That's why we've been having these big meetings about where the business is going. And one of the things is I don't want to grow big with employees because that's not my gifting. For sure. Producer K is just a saint. That's all. It's great.
Listen up to the broadcast tomorrow. Tish.
Ooh, Tish Oxenrider at home in the world. What is it? 9 months, 5 backpacks, 3 continents. No, 5 continents, 3 kids, and a husband? It's something crazy. And it was finally the last straw. It was the final straw. We interviewed Tish, and then we set the date for our tour. So we are booking our tour April, May, June. First event's in April, and then we're going to run May, June. April, Arizona. May, California. June, Oregon, Washington. It's something along those lines. But it'll be a West Coast tour. We are in talks with a couple of organizations about doing a TV show on the road with us, like doing like a 1-hour special, based on the whole tour. We've got a couple of networks talking to us about that. That's crazy. We are choosing between a charter bus company with like a driver or just renting an RV and driving it ourselves. I think we're going to rent the RV and drive it ourselves. I think that's where we're going to go. We talked to Producer K's sister-in-law about going with us. Maybe. I don't know. Just saying. But it's very exciting. I love you guys. God bless. Happy birthday to all the birthdays. Happy birthday to my wife, Laura. Happy birthday. I love you all. And I will see you on Monday. God bless. How do you stop the live on Instagram? Bye-bye, G.